How you doing, everybody? Hello. Breaking news coming on in. Garret Crochet has finally been extended. A 6-year deal, $170 million. My goodness, that is a massive deal. That is the largest ever for a pitcher with 4+ years of experience. We've been all waiting for this to happen ever since the Red Sox got the trade done with the White Sox this offseason. Everyone's been asking, okay, when's the extension? We got to get this guy locked up for the next several years. You know, he's still in his mid-20s. This is the guy you want at the top of your rotation to lead this next wave of the Red Sox going for a championship over the next several years. This is your next Chris Sale. This is your Josh Beckett, your Pedro. This is your guy for the next several years. Garret Crochet just coming into his own last year with the Chicago White Sox, coming back from Tommy John surgery, first year in the rotation. And he was phenomenal last year. Put up a 4.7 F4 coming back from Tommy John in his first year as a starting pitcher. And the fact that he put up incredible numbers like he did, amazing strikeout to walk ratio on a bad team like the White Sox last year. This guy is only going to get better. I'm excited for it. They absolutely needed to get this done. Absolutely fantastic. Now, it is definitely a lot of money, but to me, with what pitchers are getting on the market, I think this is a massive win. And the fact that you're able, honestly, 6 years, I think is a huge win. The fact, I thought it was going to be 5. I was even thinking, maybe it could be 4, depending on what Garret Crochet wanted to do at the end of the day. Because, hey, pitchers are getting a lot of money on the open market. So the fact that you're able to buy out quite a bit of his free agent years, I think is a huge win. He was going to be pitching this year and next year until they get to free agency. So you got 4 free agent years. This is absolutely incredible. Everybody, before we get going, if you can, hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you're new, if you're with us here live on YouTube. If you are with us in audio format, whether or not that's Spotify, Apple, wherever it may be, give us a 5-star review. But let's get to it here, everybody. Let's get to it. Wow, this is great news. I was not expecting this. We didn't have a great day today. A pretty crummy game with the Orioles. 1-4 so far. Raffy's striking out all the freaking time. But you know what? We didn't strike out with this one. So let's go to the Jeff Passan tweet here. And he says here, breaking, left-hander Garret Crochet and the Boston Red Sox are in agreement on a 6-year, $170 million contract extension, sources tell ESPN. The deal starts in 2026 and includes, so hold on a second. We got a little bit of a detail here. It includes an opt-out after 2030. By far the largest deal ever for a pitcher with 4+ years of experience. Apologies for that. There is an opt-out in there, so I got to backtrack. I am just processing this. I was just getting a video done on my main channel, so I didn't quite see all the details. But yes, there is an opt-out. Jeff Passan does go on to say here, Garret Crochet's $170 million deal with the Red Sox does not include any deferred money. Per sources, the previous record for a 4+ player was Jacob deGrom's 5-year, $137.5 million deal, which included an opt-out after the 4th season. Crochet can opt out at 31 years old. And this is what I've been expecting. That's why I was wondering, is this going to be like, a 4-year deal? Because, that's the age where these guys have been going onto the market, like Corbin Burns this past year, getting a big contract with the Diamondbacks, So I think this is a best of both worlds situation where Crochet is going to be getting paid over the next several years. You get a couple of his free agent years. And hey, if he's liking what's going on in Boston at the time, if the team is doing well, if the organization's in a good place and he's feeling good, then hey, he doesn't have to opt out. You never know. Who knows what kind of situations can come up. But I think this is a great deal overall. Again, apologies for not mentioning the opt-out at the beginning of the deal. Or at the beginning of the stream. But go into baseballtradevalues.com on their future extension tool. Listen, if you're not signed up with baseballtradevalues.com, they do a great job over here. But one of the things that I love about what they offer here is that you can look up what they project for a future contract extension or the future value of a free agent at whether that's in current time or down the road. So for Garret Crochet, they were projecting a 6-year, $174 million contract, an AAV of $29 million. So they were going a little higher than what he actually ended up getting. So this is based off of, projections, past performance, wins above replacement, more so on projections, right? Garret Crochet, he's going to the prime of his career right now. So you're going to be getting the best seasons out of Crochet. The fact that they were able to get him under $30 million per year, I think that is such a big win, man. That is, he's getting paid a lot of money, but it really is nice that you don't have to go out there on the open market. Look at what you had to give for Max Fried, 7-year deal, over $200 million. I mean, I would much rather have this with Garret Crochet here. I think this is absolutely fantastic. This is such a win. Not trying to sound like a Red Sox homer over here, but when you're taking a look at the value, and what you're getting for the next several years, even though there is an opt-out, I think this is a big win, ladies and gentlemen. I really like this a lot. The fact that you got this deal done, they needed to get this done. It was kind of a cloud hanging over this whole thing. This is a really good move here. He's getting paid well. The Red Sox, in my opinion, are getting a pretty fair value. I would say more than fair. If anyone complains about this AAV, I think you might be nuts, to be completely honest with you, because you got to look at what the top guys are getting out there. And the fact that you have Garret Crochet at 26 years old, that is such a win, if you ask me. Again, pulling up the numbers from last year here. So let me go over to FanGraphs really quick. And again, kind of just giving you an idea of what we're working with here. Right, so last year, again, had a great year, a 4.7 F-WAR. If you're looking right around, today you're looking at around $9 million per win. So if you're a 4-win player, it could be anywhere for, it depends. Every team is different when it comes to how they value wins. It could be anywhere from, even 8 million to 10 million. It really depends on how the team's philosophy is. But if you're going $8 million per year, right? If you're looking at a 4-win player, that's around $32 million per year. So that's at the minimum. And you got, close to a 5-win player. So if you're looking at it, $8 million per win, for 5 wins, that's a $40 million value right there. And if you have a higher value per win, I mean, that's even more. So the fact that you got him at, such a great rate, I mean, this is such a good deal. I mean, my goodness, again, he is 25 years old, just about to be turning 26 years old. So he is still actually 25. But again, going to the payroll here on FanGraphs, it doesn't look like they've updated it yet. So have they? Have they updated? Okay, so they have. So again, this starts in 2026. He's still making his contract or his pay for this year, $3.8 million. So then it starts for next year. Going to be making $28.3 million per year with the opt-out after 2030. So you got him for 25. You got him for this whole year. You got him on the cheap for this year. And then next year for 26, 27, 28, 29, and 23. So you got him for 5 years. So, that's incredible. That is absolutely fantastic. So, again, that's kind of getting back to what I was saying. That's sort of what I was expecting. I was actually shocked to see the 6 years, but now it makes sense because there's an opt-out there. So I'm thinking 5 felt like the sweet spot to me because he gets to go out into the open market, still in his early 30s. This is a great move, ladies and gentlemen. You should absolutely be happy with this move. You have now locked up your ace for the next several years. I got to see what you're all saying here in the chat. Let me know here your thoughts. Hold on a second. I am pulling up the chat. Let's see what you all have to say here. Got to see the thoughts here. Yes, Ben Marquis. Time to extend Christian Campbell now. This is a big win, though. Yep, that's going to be the next thing. Yes, we all wanted the Red Sox to spend some money this past offseason, right? But not just on free agents. You wanted to get some of these guys signed up. Obviously, Garret Crochet. Now Christian Campbell, I think that's the guy you got to try and get a couple of those free agent years, right? Pay him through his arbitration years, but try and nab a couple of those free agent years too. Give him some good money during the, for those free agent years. Try to get something maybe in that, you're looking at Jackson Churio, you're looking at Corbin Carroll. I would say something in between those kind of guys. I think Jackson Churio, he's on like an $82 million contract. I think Corbin Carroll is at $114 million. So I think somewhere in the middle of that probably makes some sense. DH proves he wants to be in Boston. Absolutely. I mean, it's a no for him. Like, he's been saying that, and I've believed him from the start. He has seemed genuine every single time he's said it. He's talked about he loves the competitive feeling in Boston. He loves the passion of the Boston fans. You want to come here to try and win ball games, man, to try to win championships. And I think the fact that we saw that after he came out in Texas, after 5 innings, you saw the body language, and you just saw a guy that was pretty ticked off at himself. Opening day, it's like whatever. You got about 30 more starts to go. You're gonna have a lot more action. But the fact that he was just kicking himself and he wanted to stay out there, that shows a lot. I think that is a good sign of things to come here. Moose 1534. He loves this team. Yes, he does. Cesar Rodriguez, what does 4+ mean? So if you've had 4 years, basically, of experience, right? Moose, 1534, under $200 million is a steal. I think I was predicting something around like $150 to $160 million. I think I said like 5 years, 150. That, in my head, made some sense. But I mean, to me, you had to go a little higher, I mean, honestly, the AAV I predicted was higher than what he ended up getting, right? But hey, that's kind of what I was thinking it was going to be. Bradley Grinnan, how you doing, man? Welcome. What do we got here? Bradley Grinnan, so many people calling for Devers to be traded and Story to be benched. Can you talk some sense into these crazy weak-minded fans? Devers, he's going to turn it around. I mean, I've been trying to tell the people, it is frustrating, seeing a historically bad start. It's frustrating. I would say I'm not even worried. I'm more just frustrated right now because I want to see the winning because this is a good team. And Story, to me, the way I'm looking at Trevor Story right now, I almost look at it as Coco Crisp back in 2008, right? Coco was a good player when you brought him in. Didn't fully quite get himself right after coming to Boston. He got hurt right away, and it just seemed like he never got his footing in Boston. And then you had this young player on the rise like Jacoby Ellsbury back then in 2007 coming up, helping the team win a championship that year. And then Coco ended up, finding his way out of town. That's pretty much the exact situation minus the contract. I think the contract makes it a little bit more interesting because you're paying Story a lot of money. And, it's kind of hard to bench a guy like that. So people, I think, need to understand Meyer, even if he's, blowing the cover off the ball, this is a guy that's not going to be, it's going to take a little time. Story, I think he's going to get a long leash. He's had a lot of health issues in the last couple of years. The Red Sox are going to give him every opportunity until they have to turn to Marcelo Meyer, or unless someone else goes down. Maybe Meyer, Devers maybe needs to get an IL stint. Bregman, if he doesn't, slam on his face again, maybe break his nose, hey, maybe Marcelo Meyer, comes up then. We'll have to wait and see how that ends up happening. G-Mags, Robbie, my guy. Thank you, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. Moose 1534. This changes everything. It does. Foop. Happy for you, man. The Red Sox are going to be scary this year and the future. Need to extend Campbell and the other rookies, though. Completely agree on Christian Campbell. I think Roman Anthony, that'll happen as well. And I think that's something the Red Sox have, learned from, right? They got the extension done with, Xander Bogaerts before he ended up getting to free agency a while back there, but they should have gotten something done with Mookie Betts instead of letting him get to free agency. I don't think they're going to make that same mistake again, right? Ever since the Atlanta Braves started this trend of signing guys when they're young, getting them locked up for years to come, the Red Sox, I don't think, are going to make that mistake again. And they have a good eye for talent when it comes to the position player side of things. They very much believe in Christian Campbell. That is very obvious. And the fact that we're even hearing about the extension, we were hearing about the extension stuff with Garret Crochet. The fact that you're hearing about it with Christian Campbell, I think it's only a matter of time before they get that done. And the Red Sox, they want to save as much money as they possibly can. They were called the cheap Sox for how long? So, yes, of course they would love to get Christian Campbell signed up, get a couple of those free agent years as well. Dario Santana, great contract, buying only the prime years. Again, that's what the Red Sox, I think that's what they've been trying to do here. They want to spend money, but they don't want to tie themselves down. That's why I thought the Bregman signing was very good, because you're not getting yourself locked into a long-term contract. And that's where the Red Sox, they've gotten bitten in the butt a lot. And I think that's why John Henry's been very hesitant when it comes to adding guys. 100% gold, big bag. Yeah, absolutely. Great for Garret Crochet. Let me say that right, before we get out of here. Garret Crochet, congratulations, man. This guy's been go back to when he was at Tennessee, man. That guy was an absolute dog at Tennessee. When he got drafted by the White Sox, I'm thinking, oh man, because you had the White Sox at that time, right, where they had like all this talent, and I'm thinking they had a Garret Crochet to that too. I was excited about him then, and I'm even more so excited now. Mandy to Profit, I'm glad they got that done. Yes, absolutely. Mason R, wow, almost didn't believe it. Yep, absolutely. The MLB channel, W Crochet, absolutely. It's a win for both sides. Absolute win for both sides. Dilcor, thank you, Craig. Thank you, Craig. Unbelievable. You gotta love it, man. But everyone, I'm gonna start getting out of here. Oh, of course. How could I not mention Garret Crochet's nickname, the Pig, the War Pig? Absolutely deserves this payday. Good for the Red Sox. Graham, $5 super chat before I get out of here. Thank you, my friend. What do you think if Raffy is upset and wants out? If Raffy Abreu cut her to Seattle for Castillo and Gilbert or Kirby? Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're getting a little crazy here. Well, you got to think with Raffy, he's got that contract attached to him. And he still has positive value. It's not going to be as high as you would think, because he's just getting paid a lot of money over the next several years. But he still has value, of course. And then you're attaching Willie or Abreu, Cutter, Crawford. I mean, you're getting Castillo back in return. I mean, first off, I don't think Seattle would ever give up Gilbert or Kirby. I think they would if they're closer to free agency. I'm kind of surprised they haven't signed those guys long-term at this point, at least one of them. But I don't think they trade them now. No way. But maybe when you get closer to free agency, maybe they'll do it. Yeah, I probably don't see that one happening, unfortunately. Yeah, but no, Raffy's not getting traded, ladies and gentlemen. He's not going anywhere. He's going to be fine. Remember, David Ortiz got off to a terrible start in 2009. Everyone thought he was done. Remember, his dad came to visit him, in Boston. It got that bad. Pedroia had to talk to the media, saying to everyone, "Oh, calm down, guys. It's going to be fine. This is Big Papi we're talking about." Remember, he got off to a terrible start. Through the first couple of months, he was hitting under 200, only had one home run, and ended up finishing off with a pretty solid year overall in 2009. I think he finished with 28 home runs that year, and the fact that he had one after a couple of months, I'm just saying. I think Raffy's going to be fine. Remember, he missed a lot of spring. You got to get the at-bats. And he was dealing with some shoulder stuff this offseason, so I'm not sure what his offseason conditioning was like. It looked like, maybe he added on like a little bit of weight. I don't know. I mean, maybe my eyes are lying to me, but either way, I don't think it's a bad, I don't think it's like, I think people are blowing it out of proportion a little bit, but I think he just needs to get his footing and he needs to get his mechanics right. He just needs to get himself, caught up. I think that's really just what it is. I think he's going to be fine. But yeah. Everybody, I'm out of here. Just wanted to react to the breaking news. Garret Crochet, 6 years, $170 million. This is a great day for the Red Sox. Great day for Garret Crochet. Great day for Red Sox fans all across the land. Everybody, on your way out, hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you're new, if you're with us on YouTube. And if you can, leave us a 5-star review if you're listening to us in podcast format. Also, make sure to check out our sponsor, True Classic. I'm not going to play the promo, but go check out True Classic. They got great clothes over there. You get a good deal, 20% off right now. Use the code FOUL, F-O-U-L. I can't spell. But go check them out, everybody. I'm out of here. Go enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll talk to you next time.